What exactly does the future of the multiverse hold for Marvel Studios and the Marvel characters? Well, if you're Sony, you're dangling Spider-Man right in front of Kevin Feige going, come on, bite to our demands, take the bite. And of course, we know that he did, so he can keep Spider-Man in the MCU. Now, old reports and rumors have resurfaced that Sony is going to get a lot more than they hope to win in the bargain. Specifically, more MCU characters for their Spider-Verse. So as we get closer to Multiverse of Madness, I think we all start to realize that this whole multiverse thing is really just going to allow Disney to do whatever they want with every single character they own in Marvel Comics. And for all we know, they could even toss non-Marvel characters in there, just different Disney IPs. Which of course is interesting because Sony owns many of these characters that they outright own the film rights to, such as Venom, of course, but we've seen recently and we've had plenty of confirmation of what comes in the future. So how exactly are they going to handle this? Well, old reports suggested that Sony, as part of the bargaining chip that they had with Spider-Man, was demanding more MCU characters in their universe. And that was one of the things that Marvel Studios and Disney had to agree upon to keep Spider-Man in the MCU. And then it looks like everything that was predicted back then and reported is turning out to be true. Previous reports did suggest that Sony would be allowed to use 2 to 4 characters in their films. Now, mind you, it's not all films. It would be spread out. So if they make Spider-Man films, you can do 2 there, and then maybe share some characters around from the MCU, or just Marvel characters that maybe Sony is interested in using, but Disney doesn't really have a big future with. So who knows how that's handled. But realistically, I think, the idea there would be you use characters that you can maybe lend to Sony and look over since you're kind of working together, and utilize some of that cross-market, hype up each other type of mentality where everybody benefits from it. And I think you get what I'm saying in terms of what that would do to merchandise. Because you could just imagine, let's say a couple years from now, Wolverine's finally in the MCU. Well, in the multiverse, what if we just bring back Daphne as X-23 and here she is Venomized? Right? Like, that could work. And I think that's realistically what they're going to do. They're just going to go kind of wild and, produce merchandise, produce more things that sell, and just work with each other in this new sort of funny enough, symbiotic relationship where both are getting something out of working together, and you don't want to rip the two apart because they can't live without one another. And I think the more we see and the closer we get to the multiverse really expanding with multiple films, we start to see that this is the new normal, if you will. Now, I'm going to guess that when it comes to a big announcement in regards to this, that at some point they're going to have to make an announcement, as people have speculated, and be like, hey guys, this is how we're working together, this is what you can expect. Because they can't just go in and be like, guess what? In one of the upcoming Sony films, you're going to have Captain America appear, and it's like out of nowhere. Like, you have to prep people for that and announce it during a press release. So I would assume if this turns out all to be true, which it looks like it is, probably expect an announcement, sometime in the next couple years.